All right. So today's session is all about how to use digital tools like Mobble and Farmbot to improve productivity, decision making on your farm. Um, we're going to aim to keep this around, 40, 45 minutes today. And that will include a demo of Farmbot, and it'll include a demo of Mobble as well. And then it was open up for Q&A and everyone can ask both of us here questions as we go. So to get kick things off, I'm really excited to introduce our guest speaker, Tess O'Hagan, the general manager of Farmbot, who's joining us for this session. Tess has been with Farmbot for more than 6 years, I believe, and lives in New South Wales. Now we've been huge fans of Farmbot since they've launched. They're leading water monitoring solutions used across Australia, and have recently expanded into North America as well. Whether it's known as RanchBot, because apparently Farmbot isn't the right name over there. So they're doing amazing things, leading the world in water monitoring solutions, especially for livestock farmers. So really excited to have Tess on, and I'm going to hand it over to Tess now to give us a bit of a walkthrough on Farmbot and yeah, share a bit about what's happening over there. So pass it to you, Tess. Thanks.
Thank you, Jock. Much appreciated. Yes, as Jock mentioned, hang on, let me get this working. Okay, Farmbot came about 7 years ago from our technical founder working in the city, had a property and wanted to know if he had water on the property. So we know that that's the main challenge, being able to know if you have water at all of your watering points across your property. And we know that leaks, issues, pipe bursts happens at the most inconvenient times. So with Farmbot developed, you're able to uh, see those issues in near real time on your software platform. One of the main benefits around Farmbot is that we're giving you that 24/7 visibility, 365 days a year. Um, all of our customer service team are rurally based themselves. They live on property. They understand the pain points themselves, and love working for Farmbot to help solve some of those pain points or issues with our customers. We're more than just a water monitoring company these days. We monitor diesel, liquid fertilizer, your pipes. We have camera solutions. We've really evolved on the back of customers' feedback to make sure it's a solution for you. We're now trusted by over 4,000 businesses across Australia alone, and we are growing in the US, as Jock mentioned. All of our solutions, we try to make sure they're an out-of-the-box solution that can be installed by any farmhand. That's been a real key point and focus for us as we continue to develop solutions. We try to make it as intuitive, simple to set up, and user-friendly on our software application, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So the Farmbot ecosystem. So we started, if you look at this wheel, at 12 o'clock is where we started, where we designed a tank monitor. The next bit of feedback from our customers was, it's fantastic, but I still need to go out and check my manual rain gauge. So we evolved and built a digital rain gauge, followed by flow, line pressure for your pipes, knowing that you've got water in your troughs, dams, bores. The latest release is our weather station over here. We're also really focused on continuing to provide or to develop new and needed products. So we've got pasture zone visibility, soil moisture in the mix, power meter, valve control, and we're doing some fantastic research with AI cameras, because I think we all know that everyone's talking about AI, and we need to work out how to use that to the best of our ability. So these are the two core products. So the Farmbot Monitor is something that can do many different things for you at once, or individually. That is, it can talk up to 15 different sensors, from turning on and off your pumps remotely. It can take satellite photos of your troughs to make sure that you know that your troughs have got water, or that you haven't got cattle stuck in them or anything like that. So it gives you that visibility to know what you're heading out to try and resolve. And then the Farmbot Lite solution is our simple solution that just does one level sensor, and that's either tank level, diesel, or fertilizer. And that's been a great product to either get a taste for water monitoring and remote monitoring, or you can put that on your less critical tanks, and you can have a mix of your technology on farm as well. So we don't stop at water level. As I said, rain gauge is our most popular second solution, closely followed by flow, pump control, which I'll really show you live on the platform, camera and trough. And weather station is a collaboration with Davis. So we recently launched a connection, and uniquely you can operate a weather station via satellite connectivity with Farmbot. Line pressure we've had, and is a great bit of added insight to what's happening in your pipes. And then Farmbot Security is a solution where we partnered with a company called Landwatch, and we offer you the security solutions that you might need for on-farm. So the platform is really the most critical here. The hardware is just a means to get that data back to a platform. But the platform we've built here ourselves for our producers is really meant to be simple, intuitive, and providing you with all of that data in a digestible form to allow you to make more informed decisions. So you'll get email or text alerts depending on how you'd like it set up. You can have multiple users, so you can all get those alerts, or you can be selective. You're able to operate equipment remotely from that. We provide near real-time reporting capabilities via satellite, as I said. The benefits are that you can reduce your operational expenses, whether that's labor, fuel, insurance, just time on the ground is important. And as I mentioned, the data is provided to you in a form that's already digestible and gives you that actionable insight. And the other sort of benefits of this is that it can improve animal health and welfare, reduce your critical asset failure, and help with sustainability and natural capital. So this is an example of some of the types of alerts you might get. A critical alert, a high alert will tell you when your pump is off or on, how much rainfall has been detected, if your trough's low, fuel's low, and I'll show you that in real time. One of the benefits that our customers often tell us is that, it's fantastic that Farmbot is truly customer obsessed. We've made sure that all of our products are built to last and fit for purpose in some of those harshest environments across Australia. It truly is easy to install. We are able to operate anywhere with that satellite connectivity, but you can also have cellular communications if that's what suits you at that watering point. You can pick a mix. So it just comes down to the types of comms that you have at every asset or watering point that you're looking to monitor. You're not locked into all satellite across property either. New Zealand you might be, but that's a bit different. Here's a case study from Ben Mills, Argyle Cattle Co. He obviously has a very large operation. He has 50 Farmbot water level monitors and 1 camera. And his quote below is that Argyle has saved a huge amount of money using Farmbot in time, bore runners, pilots, and that sort of thing. And it's really helped him change how they conduct their daily tasks. And he's been a customer for over 5 years now, which is fantastic. We have another customer in central western New South Wales, Thomas Webster, from Black Springs. He has 8 Farmbot lights. So he has the basic water level monitor and 1 trough direct. And he speaks about how Farmbot has saved him a few times. He received an alert for an issue and found that cattle had pushed off the pipe. Pushed off the valve, and then knowing the tank is below the threshold is valuable information no matter what time of day. So that's just 2 examples from customers that use Farmbot. So what I might do is I might jump to our demo platform. Can everyone see that? Yeah. Great. So on my Farmbot, when you first log on, you will land on a map view of your enterprise, of your property. It's easy to zoom out and in. We run a basic traffic light system with these flags. So green means generally all is okay, orange warning, red critical, and grey means there might be a communication error or issue. So here we have a rain gauge and a tank monitor. Versus down here we have a monitor, a tank monitor and a pump control. So if I click into this flag, I will. So what we can see, the reason that was orange is because it has triggered their high alert. So what's important to them is high. They obviously don't want to be wasting water here. And so it's triggered it. But what you'll see is this is a pretty neat pattern. They must have tight control on making sure that the water doesn't drop, or that the pump doesn't allow the water to drop below 62 centimeters and, above 110. That's the optimal pumping for this watering point. So we talk about what is the level, the total level out of the total centimeters that you enter, and then what does that mean as a percentage of your capacity. Your trend, is the water steady? So at the moment it is steadily working straight across, so that's all okay. That trend will change, or that arrow will change if your water starts to drop, as you can see on yesterday. We also can talk about your volume. If you enter your volume, we can tell you how much volume you have. When I expand this gives you a different view of looking at the level of data that comes through at every sort of point in time. So that's really quite helpful if you're wanting to drill down. You're able to look at things at a 30-day view, or as little as 48 hours, to really work out what's going on and making sure that everything's operating as expected. All of our data is exportable, so you can export your data into CSV form. You can, collate that elsewhere, or you can also use our open API to send that information elsewhere. This is where you set up your alert triggers. So the dotted lines are alerts that are customized by you as the farmer, and you can tell us what's important and meaningful to you and when you want to know of, things that are going wrong. So the benefit of having sort of two alerts, low alerts, reasonably close together, is that you have decided that there's enough time to react. I get alert 1, okay, I'm really going to keep a close eye on this, and if it continues to head down, trend down, I want to know, and I get an alert, and then I have enough time to send someone out or go out myself and fix the issue. So that's something that's been quite important and useful to our current customers. The rain gauge. So we allow you to customize the reset period. So if you'd like it to run in line with the BOM, then it's 9 till 9, but you can change that to be, 12 till 12, 10 till 10, whatever's meaningful to you. So I'll head back to the rain gauge. We talk about month to date, year to date, what's the rolling 90-day average, 12 months, sorry, and then how many wet days have you had per year. So basic column graph as well. Again, you can change it to a 48-hour view, which there hasn't been any rain in the last 48 hours. You can even look at it over the 12-month period. And here it is exportable, as I mentioned. So one of the other key products that we released last year that's been really impactful for our customers is our pump control. So we allow you to remotely start and stop your pumps, whether that's manually clicking this button on the platform, or you can set automation up by using the information of a destination tank. So you have a Farmbot on your destination tank, and you are telling us that you want that pump to start when the water drops to 62 centimeters, and I want to turn my pump off when the destination tank gets to 110 centimeters. You also can have an operating time, so you can limit that to only operate during off-peak, for instance. So that then tells us that I'm only going to use this automation that I've set during the off-peak time that I have set. And in an ideal world, your pump and your tank have a nice little pattern where the green means the pump is on, it's filling it up, it turns off. When cattle drink at that trough, it drops down, it fills up again nicely. We provide a little legend. So green is obviously the is pump is on, the white part is off. The blue is the water level. If there's an unknown issue or an error, we will draw a line and show you that. I'll see if there's an example here. Doesn't look like it. It's a nice little happy tank. And then the other great benefit of this pump control is that we will actually tell you that if Fred turned off this tank, whether that was manually at the site, on the platform, or automation turned it on or off. So you really have a good log of what's happening and who's controlling your machinery on farm. The last call out that I wanted to just share with you is our trough monitor. So this is allowing you to see the drinking behavior of your stock. It talks about the aggregate supply and demand. So in an ideal world, the red is never always at the bottom, that the red and the blue line are closely together. So here they've drank a bit of water, but your water supply has recovered and it is maintaining a healthy level of water for them to be able to drink. We talk about what is the highest average and then what's the minimum average as well. And again, the export function that everyone loves. So, Jock, that's the end of my presentation. Would you like me to stop sharing?
That'd be great. Thanks, Tess. That was great and really insightful. I think as farmers, water is up there with one of the most valuable assets on the farm. So yeah, I think you guys are doing it up there with the best of them. So yeah, nice work and yeah, great
Thank you.
presentation. I hope those on the call got a lot out of it. One thing that stood out to me was your customer obsession, your farmer obsession, and delivering on farmer feedback, and that's something we find really important too. So yeah, thank you for sharing. And yeah, anyone got any questions for Tess, please put them in the chat, and we'll get to them straight after a quick little run around Mobble. All right, I'll just share my screen. So I'm going to give you a quick demo of Mobble. Mobble is the central place for all farm and livestock records for your farm. I'm going to give you a run around our family farm or one of my dad's farms, North Central Victoria near Seymour. And yeah, give you a run around this, and you can see how Mobile works in a working operation, and go from there. So yeah, Mobile is a farm and livestock management platform. There are two apps. There's a web app on the computer, which is the one I'm showing you right now, and the phone app out in the paddock, which works offline and online. Now, when you're out in the paddock, you're going to be using that phone app the most, and that's probably where you're putting in most of the records. But everything I'm going to show you on the web app right now will be pretty much, you can still do all that same functionality, and they work very similar for both. Now, we cover a lot of things in Mobble and what we do. We do full farm mapping, livestock grazing management and grazing management, farm productivity reporting, inventory and compliance records. There's farm team communication, so you can get a whole farm team in on the one thing, and integrations with other on-farm tech, which we're going to come back to at the end. So I'll start with the farm map here. So this is, we run a sheep and cattle operation, mainly sheep, in North Central Victoria. And we just started landmarking, I'm pretty sure. I'm not currently on farm at the moment. So start with the farm map. Yeah, so the farm map is the essential place for all your full farm mapping. You can map out nearly anything, all your paddocks, put your mobs in. You can map out geolocational tasks, which are like these little red dots here. You can map out silos, your house, your shed, map in all your pipelines if you like to, and everything's done by this big plus button down the bottom. For those people who are looking for a little bit more on how Mobile works. And you can add in things even like pipelines, and you can turn all these map layers on and off as you choose, as well. And it's very easy to sort of go on the fly. Cool. And we have a range of satellite imagery you can choose from. So if there's one of the satellite imageries that are not quite up to date, you can change it to Google or Map Tiler. And we also have a terrain view as well. So you can see the terrain of each paddock here as well. So yeah, make sure you're flicking through those satellite views to see which one's most up to date for you. That's a quick little hack that most people miss there. So just highlighting that one. All right, so livestock management and mob management. So moving mobs in Mobble is really simple. We just click and drag into the next paddock they're going to. Mobble is probably best known for its mob management, splitting of mobs, classing of mobs, um, and merging of mobs. And it all works very much how it works on farm. So when you come in and say scanning time and you're boxing all your mobs together and doing scanning or preg testing, and splitting them out into different paddocks, it works very much the same in Mobble, and it's all very efficient and fluid, I would say. Um, with livestock records, we're recording a bunch of different things. We're recording your full livestock reconciliation. So when you add a mob in, we're recording if it's a sale or if it's a natural increase. We're also recording things like if casualties and sorry, I've just realized my everything's in US language. I apologize. So it says herd instead of mob. Apologies for that. For those the Australian people on the call. So recording things like casualties and sales of mobs as well. Um, so I'll give you a quick demo of how to change a language in Mobile so I can get it back to, I think most people on the call are from Australia. So you can go to profile. If you're from Australia, you can change it back. There you go. Um, on the livestock side of things as well, we can move on to compliance. So when you're recording information on mobs, we can also add a mob action. And what that is pretty much any record on a mob, and it includes things like your drench records, your vaccination records, and all that sort of thing too. And it's very simple and easy to add that in. And you can do this as a bulk as well. You can add it to say all your merino ewes or first cross ewes, um, Angus steers or whatever it is. And what you're doing here is you're adding products from our inventory. So yeah, things like VetMec or some sort or your vaccines, you can add your products directly. Um, and all that information comes down into a nice summary at the end of the day, and we can present that to our auditors. And this is for mob records or paddock records. It's your full compliance records on treatments. Um, so yeah, as you can record things on mobs, you can record information on paddocks as well. And you do that by clicking both things and adding that paddock action, which is like a spray record or fertilizer record. We're recording information, a full history on your property, right? So your whole property has this ongoing history forever. And it also we have an ongoing history in your paddocks and your mobs as well. So if I click into a mob, I get this full history forever of this mob information. And same on a paddock. If I click into a paddock, we get a bunch of different information, but we get that full history on that paddock forever. Everything that's ever happened, every single mob move, every single spray action, anything that's ever happened, task completed, anything that's ever happened is right here. And we can scroll down and get a bit more information. So when we're talking about sort of like grazing records over time, we have our stock units. We got AU here for the moment, but it's like DSE per hectare, or average DSE per hectare over the last rolling 12-month period. And we're graphing all this information out historically. So you can look back to last year and see how this paddock was performing. You can also get a stocking unit or a DSE per hectare, AU per hectare average over time and see that sort of performance of that paddock and how well that paddock's been performing compared to previous years, or how hardly grazed that paddock's been hit in the last sort of 12 months, and work out, why there is or isn't so much grass in that paddock now, and stuff like that. A quick little hack is you can actually view a lot of this information via the paddocks list. And you can order this information here as well. So things like days grazed and days rested, we can work out which paddocks have been the most rested, or like the longest rested, or the longest grazed. We do a lot of set stocking, as you can see. So you get these long grazed paddocks. And which paddocks performing the best. So which paddocks have had the highest stocking units or stocking rates over the last 12 months, which is this average there as well. So yeah, that's sort of going to the grazing management side of things, which is one of the core reasons a lot of people use Mobble. Just talk about inventory management for a second. We have all our, say, animal health, or you've got your feed inventory, or herbicides and pesticides and fertilizers inventory here as well. And we create a full list of all these products that you've been using. and you can share inventories across properties, which is what has happened here. And if we go to view an item, we can see the usage of an inventory item over any time period you like, and you can work out how much 5 and 1 you've used this year versus next year and plan for next year's order as well. Um, we got full rain, all your rainfall records in here as well. See, having a bit more rain. No, month to date. Only rain yet because it's the first. Had a bit of rain last month, which is great. And all these records that we're creating come back into our summaries and reporting. One of our major reports is our livestock reconciliation report. So this is a full breakdown of over a time period, say last financial year. Perfect. This is exactly last financial year. Got our starting head, our closing head, and our natural increases, purchase casualties, and sold in there as well. And that full breakdown. So end of financial year, you get these records, and you can break that down as far as deeply as you like to age groups, classes, and so on. It's also an easy place to see your current stocking units for the property as well. Yeah. So that report's pretty major one. Now, just I know there's a few people on the call that are just getting started with Mobble. I think a great place to start is one, mapping out your property and getting your paddocks in, and two, going to check your settings and customizing Mobble for you. So one of the great things with Mobble, you can come in here and you can customize a lot of the classes, types, and tags. So this section down the bottom here. So we've got paddock types. So you could have different maybe barley, wheat as a paddock type, and they come with different colors within the property. You can customize that as deep as you like. If you're getting started with Mobile, I'd also come in here, get rid of any, say, cattle breeds that you don't use, and just put the ones that you do use in there, so you don't have to see all those other ones. And one of the most important things I think to get right, especially with mob management, is getting your classes set up properly and using them well. So for us in the sheep game, our main classes are around pregnancy testing. So we have singles for use in singles for lamb and twins in twin. And we use these classes pretty rigorously. And we have like a top line which are first and a bottom line which are our seconds as well. And getting these classes right and setting up your custom classes will create really good reporting down the track as well. So getting that right from day one is a really good thing to do. So if any mob I click on here, you'll see that not any mob, they will have a class, and these merino ewes, for example, are our top line and they're in twin. But you can customize classes and you can do weight classes or anything. So it's all very flexible in there. And one of the last things I'll mention is Mobble is your central place for farm data communication. So you can add all your team members in there. And it's very important that we do that. So everyone's aligned what's happening on farm. It's where we see the most value. We have my two brothers on the farm, my dad and my mum and a worker. And yeah, this is that central place of communication. So they can see what's going on and not have to call the old man for every little job that they do. So it stops a lot of mistakes happening that everyone has access. We can also add in third-party members as well. So we have access to people like your farm advisor. You can invite farm advisors or contractors to Mobble as well, which is a really powerful feature. For example, a contractor might be someone who's doing some fertilizer spraying and they need access to the map, and they get a very restricted view. So they only see the map, for example, and can't make edits or anything like that. So it's a very safe addition to your property. And they'll be able to see, for example, if you highlight it, which paddocks that they should fertilize and their location in those paddocks. Everything's GPS on your phone. So that's one not to forget as well in Mobble. So that's a real whirlwind sort of demo. If anyone on the call and wants some more information or is getting started and wants to dig a bit deeper in anything we've talked about or something that wasn't clear, just give us a call. I'll get Maddie to put our phone number in the chat. With people on the call all day today. So if we're giving them a buzz and ask any questions. So yeah, that's a quick whirlwind demo of Mobble and our family one of our family farms. If anyone, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, please fire away, and we can get into nitty gritty. I think, and also I want to do a quick little announcement. One exciting thing that's happening between Farmbot and Mobble in the future is that we're looking to integrate together. So driving a lot of that water monitoring data into Mobble onto our map is the ideal future we're looking for. Very early days though, so this is a very early early sort of telling you guys, but yeah, it's the first time we talked about it in public. But yeah, we have conversations going on with our developers, and yeah, very excited about the collaboration in the future. So I'll hand it over to everyone on the call and yeah, see if there's anyone that got any questions, and Tess and I can have a bit of a chat and go from there.
Hey, Jock, I'm just going to jump in here for Maddie. She's having some connection issues down in Tassie, so I'm just going to jump on in her absence. But great to hear about that Farmbot Mobile integration. I think it's a really exciting step for both of us. We'll be really keen to see what comes of that. We just
Yeah.
had a question from Jean in regards to Mobile saying, can you multi-select paddocks to add information like a full farm fertilizer application?
Yeah, really quite simply. So um, in Mobile, it's really easy. I'll start with the mobs. So when you got the mobs in here and say you've done a big drench action, you can say all your first cross use or whatever it is. You can select all these mobs and do a bulk action, or you can do a bulk edit um, as well and apply action. You're applying action to all these mobs. So it's really quick and easy to do that. Which is great. With the paddocks, we don't have the same selector thing, but if you select one of the paddocks that's being fertilized and add paddock action, you can go to this drop down and then go. It's a bit cleaner on the mobile app, by the way, but you can go down and select as all the paddocks that had are to be fertilized, and then it's just one, and then you've got one big action for all those things. So it saves a lot of time. So you can do say 10 paddocks all at once to a date, and make sure you're selecting the product so you can track how much product is being used as well. Hope that answers the question.
Beautiful. Thanks, Jock. We've had a question come through for Tess, if that's okay. The question is, how is Farmbot making a real difference to people who are currently struggling in drought conditions?
Yep, no problem. So I think Farmbot's monitoring solution is all about not wasting water and making sure that you can get the most out of it. Also knowing that even if you don't have water, knowing that you don't have water at that point anymore, if you need to move your stock along, I think that's how we can have an impact.
Beautiful. Thank you. Another question from Mobble here. I'm presuming from Bernie. Does the data input take a lot of time?
Yeah, so with mobile, the biggest one of the biggest barriers is getting started. So once the data's in there, it's fine. But um, putting your paddocks and say your mobs in for the first time, there's a little bit of a barrier, or like a little bit of time you have to invest into the software to get the most out of it. Once that information's in, it's really simple and easy to keep up to date. You're updating information on the fly. So moving a herd or a mob out in the paddock, you're just dragging that across your phone is updated. Anyone in the team can do that. And same with things like your say mob actions or drenches or whatever you're doing there. Easy to do on the fly. So once it's in there, it's fine. I will note though, we can do a lot of uploading of your data if you're currently using a farm management software, or if you've got your maps previously mapped out in a different system, or someone else has mapped your farm for you. We can usually upload that map straight into your property, so it's instantly ready to go. That's great. So if you've got a KML file or a shape file that we can upload, you can send it through to us via email. We'll upload it for you, and yeah, then you'll have that farm already mapped, ready to go. It's just a matter of putting your mobs in for the first time, but it's that time investment, it should pay off in the long run. So yeah.
Yeah, Jock, just wanted to ask on that. So you
Yep.
have an app that goes on your phone that you do most of your work on, do you, when you're out in the paddock?
Right.
And that just uploads into the program when you're in
Yeah.
service or at the
Yeah.
night. So you'd be doing this daily, putting the data in daily pretty much.
Yeah, that's the best way to manage data in mobile is like, when you're out in the paddock, out in the field doing your work, that's the best time to update your information. I mean, some people they'll come back home and think about what they've done for the day and quickly put it into mobile. But as long as, if you're thinking about updating those records, it's very hard to get, it's very hard to not make that easy. Like it is simple. It does get hard though if you say you forget a few days and you leave it for a month and something you have to like backdate a heap of information. That's that's got a little bit of management. But as long as you're out in the paddock updating the information, and as soon as you update it in the paddock, if you're in service, it'll update across all devices and all users, right? If you're offline, it'll notify you when you're back in service to submit the offline requests. And then everyone else's, phones and computer versions will update once you're back in service. That makes sense. But yeah, the phone app, we're like mobile first or phone app first, the company. So the mobile app is built to be really easy to use, really simple. So, hopefully everyone else in the call's found that. But yeah, always trying to make it more simpler and easy to use as we go. So hopefully it is, Bernie, it's easy for you to use that in the paddock.
It doesn't matter that you don't have service in the paddocks.
No, it doesn't matter because it basically we save all that information onto your phone. So you can still use the map, you still see your GPS location even. And when you do say a mob move, the phone will save like an offline request. And when you come back into service, it'll say, hey, do you want to sync this back up with the rest of mobile? So when you come back in, say home, and you come into Wi-Fi, it'll ask you to sync, and then you do that. And then all the records are updated. So it's got an extra step there for when you're using it offline. But yeah, it doesn't matter when you're doing the records out in the paddock.
Just speaking of offline capability there, Jock, we did have another question come through about Farmbot and their offline capabilities and what that looks like. And then just a follow on from that question is, are there any distance restrictions with the Farmbot monitors, or do they work on a particular radius on property?
Great, thank you. So Farmbot's web software platform is actually a web application. On our list of things we would like to do is a mobile app where it can operate offline, but that's currently where we're at. In regards to distance and I assume we're talking about the farm bots there, potentially the hardware. So we use satellite and cellular connectivity, so they're able to operate on the communications that they go out as, allowing for that data to continue to come through as needed, and anyone on the platform can see that data in real time.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Tess. And that's just to confirm, they don't all require Wi-Fi, do they? They can also use satellite as well.
Yeah, we don't use Wi-Fi. Literally a satellite connectivity or cellular connectivity being a SIM, a 4G SIM.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. A question that would be great for both to answer. Jock mentioned, or it's really Tess upfront mentioned at the start when you were talking about on-farm customer support, and I know Mobble has the same. Tess, from an ongoing perspective, what does the Farmbot support look like? And then also Jock will get you to answer after Tess has.
Yeah, so here at Farmbot, we obviously, well, we often say that the relationship doesn't stop the moment we sell you something. It really only begins. And so we have strong sales and customer service support with the team all across the country that are there to answer any query, whether that's online on our intercom or web platform chat. You can SMS us, you can call us for anything really, how to add another user, or I even have customers still asking us, they've got enough service to text someone, they'll ask us to go and check that water tank is starting to fill up because they've just gone and done a repair. So the team really are there to help them with any of their questions relating to Farmbot and the visibility at Farmbot.
Yeah, great. And same with Tess. Like our customer success team, our farmer success team are absolutely awesome. They do a great job of supporting our farmers. They've all got farming backgrounds, or I think they've all got farming backgrounds. Yeah, they've all got farming backgrounds or on farm right now, so they understand what you're all going through, and they can relate to it all too. So yeah, you can as same as Tess, like you can use the phone number on our website. You can call anytime your business hours, and you'll generally get someone at the other end of the line, which is it's pretty rare for software products or like for Farmbot and Mobble to have that sort of incredible support. But it's something we're very dedicated towards. And a lot of people in this call would have got renewal calls or feedback calls from us. We often call up our farmers to ask for feedback and try to make the product better. So that relationship is really important to us. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you both. I think we're nearly ready to call last questions, but we do just have one more to come through. So if anyone does have any last questions, please post them in the chat. But Tess, we've had a question from Bernie saying, we have really bad lightning strikes in our area. Is the equipment solar or mains powered?
Yes, so our primary equipment is solar powered, but we do offer a mains powered solution. Typically, the components that we use, we are considering to make sure that they're not attracting that kind of impact, and we've had very little lightning strike impacts to date. Certainly, it happens around the monitors, but not at the actual monitor.
And then just one last question for you as well, Tess. Is there a price list for the Farmbot devices?
Yeah, we can share that, or certainly can share our sales phone number to talk through what are the solutions that they're specifically after.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tess. I think that's all from a questions perspective, unless Tess or Jock, you have anything else you'd like to add quickly?
No, that
No, I'm okay.
all okay, but that was a lot of fun. So if anyone wants to continue the chat later on, feel free to. I'll put my email in the chat as well. Contact me directly um or our helpline. I'll put that in the chat as well. You can contact us there. Yeah. So yeah, no, that was great. So thanks so much, Tess, for your time and being part of the Q&A and your demo. And thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for joining the call. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you using your Farmbot monitors and your mobile software in the future. So and supporting you do that. So thanks again.
Thanks all.